Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's episode I'm going to be doing that classic Chinese takeaway starter, sesame seed prawn toast, and you can do it in under 30 minutes. Sounds good? Let's rock and roll. So then, let's get this started. You're going to need 280 grams of raw king prawns, peeled and deveined. Optional, this is MSG, quarter teaspoon of MSG. And then half a teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of white pepper, 1 tablespoon of corn flour, 1 egg, and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. And then of course you need the all important 1 cup of sesame seeds. And finally you're going to need 4 slices of white bread. Now for the actual, we're using a blender here, so put all of the ingredients into your blender. You can do it by mashing it. Now we'll do a video later about mashing the prawns manually by hand. So, and then in goes all of the rest of the ingredients. Just a little spread around. Get it in with the MSG. Again, that is optional. And I'm going to go in with the salt. Followed by the white pepper. Then we're going to add in our egg. Now some people will use just the white, some people will use both. But in this instance I've used both egg and the yolk in there. Then we're going to go in with our 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. We can then blend this to don't want it really smooth. So we're going to go and topping up with our corn flour here. But we're going to blend it. When we blend it, we don't want it really smooth. You really want it lumpy, but spreadable. So switch on your food processor of choice. Give that a blitz for a few seconds, and then what you can do, you can test the consistency of it. If it's too wet, you can add some more corn flour. If it's too dry, maybe add a little bit of water. But do test it, try it, and make sure it's the right consistency. It needs to be not necessarily completely blended, so we don't want it smooth. We just want it like nice and spreadable, and this looks about right. And if it's got chunks of prawn in it, still even better. So once you're happy with the consistency, take it out of the and get a knife and just check it, make sure it's fine, and then we can start spreading it on our bread. Now if you want to leave the crusts on, that's perfectly fine. I like to leave the crusts on mine. It gives me a little bit more extra, but feel free to actually take off the crust if you need to, and or cut it up pre-frying. So just literally take your paste, and you can be as generous as you like. Obviously the more generous you are, the less you're going to make. This recipe should make around about 4 rounds, and that's being pretty generous. So add in your paste and just spread it as if you're spreading butter. But we're just doing it on one side only. And then dip it paste side down into the sesame seeds, like so, and give it a gentle press. Do not press really, really hard, or you'll damage the bread, and we don't want to do that. Lift it up, shake off any excess if there is, and put it to one side, and then rinse and repeat with the rest. And then we're ready for the frying. So, heat your oil in a wok or frying pan. You can either deep fry or shallow fry, roughly around about 170 to 180 degrees Celsius. And then you're going to take your toast and you're going to plump it seed side down into the oil. Now, we need to control the temperature here. We don't want it to go too hot or it'll burn, and it probably won't cook the prawns. Alternatively, we don't want it to be cooking too low, because then that will make it greasy, as it will absorb the oil. So that should only take about a couple of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Just check to see if it's ready to turn over. And here I'm using a pair of metal spatulas to actually turn the toast over once it's done. So we're looking for a golden brown consistency. So we're going to turn it over now. It's looking perfect. And then we're going to let the other side cook. Again, as I said, it should only take about 3 or 4 minutes. Just check and make sure that your underside isn't burning. And if you want it a bit darker, you can always turn it over like I've done here. Just quickly turn it over. Depending on the size of your pan or your wok, you can do up to 2. I wouldn't do any more than 2 at a time. In this instance, I've only done the 1. But again, keep an eye on the temperature. If it's too hot, turn it down. I think this is a little bit over, so I think we were just about done. But it had been cooking for about 4 or 5 minutes. But just make sure that cook them until they are golden brown, and then we can take them out and put them onto some kitchen towel to drain, and then continue with the rest. And then that's it. All you need to do then is slice it up, and it'll time to have a taste. And here you can see I've done some jumbo pancake rolls as well, but the prawn toast is looking delicious. And listen for that crunch as it goes in. Perfect. That is lovely. That was beautiful. And all done within minutes. Easy, simple, and better than takeout, better than restaurant. Yep, and that is it for today's video. So if you did enjoy that, do remember to like and subscribe, and always remember to share. I have been Ike Backer. Until next time, keep walking and rolling. Bye!